What's up, positive people? You got Dana here, and I am chilling at the house after a contentious day at work. I hope y'all are well, but I had to come to y'all and talk to y'all about music. So this morning, Solange dropped When I Get Home, and I think at this point I've listened to it probably front to back about 5 times. I live for the vibe that she's giving on it. I love that it's clearly this love letter to her home city of Houston. You have a lot of Houston references, whether it be the lingo, whether it be the chopped and screwed, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, candy paint and the flow and all these different very much Houston centric things in the album. I'm not from Houston, but I'm from the South, so obviously there are a lot of parallels. A lot of the cultural references that were dropped in the album. I didn't too much care for a lot of the interludes. A part of me felt like there could have been songs on a lot of the interludes where it was an instrumental and then she's kind of improvising, which for me might be a part of Houston culture that I'm just not aware of. Like, I'm sure this album's, maybe deeper than I can understand at 5 listens, but the vibe that I get overall from the album is there are definitely some similarities between this album and between A Seat at the Table. Comparing this album to A Seat at the Table, I feel like cohesively A Seat at the Table was a better front to back listen. However, I'm not saying that I don't like listening to this new album back to back. I just found that with this album there were certain songs that I was going back to, spending more time on. Stay Flow, I love that song. She's a little sharp and pitchy on some of the stuff. I think that the album speaks to her individuality. Like, I really think she's found her sound between True, A Seat at the Table, and now When I Get Home. The Solange sound is like solidified. We kind of know what to expect from her, but then again, we don't really know what to expect from her. She's all over her own album. When it comes to vocal production, obviously vocals, background singing, but I mean, this girl wrote on this album, this girl produced on this album. I even see her son in the credits. Like, this seemed like a passion project, which is really dope to see. She is writing on the entire thing. It's definitely one of those albums that I feel like I'll keep peeling back the layers on, but so far I really enjoy it. It'll continue to grow on me for sure. Definitely let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. What are your favorite tracks on it? I think some kind of surprising things was the Gucci feature. I thought it was a little odd that Gucci Mane made the album, but I mean, it's Gucci Mane, like, get that feature, it's a big deal. Cassie's on the album, which was surprising. A lot of people come for her vocals, but she has a very unique sounding voice. I don't know if any of y'all remember Ashley Perez, but Cassie's voice, especially on like Me and You and a lot of her old stuff, reminds me a lot of Ashley Perez. And I think that because she was dating Diddy at that time, nobody took kind of her monotone swag seriously. But I actually think that there's a lane for that sort of voice, you know what I'm saying? And the same way that there was a lane back in the day for A. Marie and Ashanti, where it's like these people don't have the most complete vocal range. Solange. But it's like they stay in their lane, they do what they do, and they can work within the confines of their range. Yeah, there were definitely more than one time listening to the album where I was like, Solange, you're a little pitchy, you're a little sharp. And that's no shade. I'm not some professional singer. People ain't buying my albums, but it's something that I noticed. It's something that wasn't pleasing to the ear. And this album definitely gives me like ASMR kind of vibey, vaporwave, but still like Houston, but still trap. There was a lot of knocks, surprisingly, for this to be an R&B record, which I thought was really cool. I will be completely honest with you, I don't see any like standout singles on the album. So, she's got videos out for songs, I forget which ones, but there's no songs really that stick out to me that could be singles. And maybe that's because Solange has never been the strongest when it comes to hooks, so I don't know. I mean, Cranes in the Sky was as close as I feel like we've ever gotten. And what's the other song that I absolutely love with Sampha on it? Don't Touch My Hair. We're the closest we've ever come to really like commercially successful singles that had like memorable hooks. If I had to rate the album out of 10, I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. And also, you got to keep in mind that I compare that to like A Seat at the Table, which was a damn near perfect album. So, you know, there's only so high you can go, like, as far as a concept record, as far as, like, a cohesive body of work. A Seat at the Table was amazing. That I probably just need a little more time with when I get home to just really take in everything. But I loved the rollout that she did with this album. First with Black Planet page. Shout out to her for showing them love, because that was our network. I made tons of friends, dated tons of guys through Black Planet, so that took me back. And then I loved the fact that she used Mike Jones' old cell phone number, drop a sneak peek. She had pictures on her Instagram. Like, I loved this whole promo-less rollout that she did, you know, a la Lemonade style. You know, those noses go, they drop albums when they feel like it, on their terms, and that's really cool. And considering the fact that, like I said, this girl wrote on the album, produced on the album, hell, probably even engineered on the album, I'm sure she's gonna make a pretty penny off this. I look forward, honestly, to seeing a lot of these songs live, because I get the impression that When I Get Home is meant for the Astrodome, these big Texas venues where they can just, like, damn near have church. So yeah, it's a good record. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you've listened to it, if there's some standout tracks for you. For me, some of the standout tracks, definitely Down with the Click. I liked Wait to the Show. I liked which Cassie does vocals on. And I Hold My Mic is a nice interlude. I think we can all relate to it. Nothing Without Intention's a pretty good interlude. Same thing with We Deal with the Freakin'. Yeah, the reference on that is everything. This album's black as hell. Like, if you weren't expecting more of the same in that respect, it's still black as hell. A lot of these references are just black as hell. Stay Flow, like I said, I love. My Skin, My Logo is the joint with Gucci Mane. That's pretty cool. And those were some of the things that really I enjoyed and have found myself constantly going back to. Go and check the album out, make up your mind for yourself. I checked it out on Tidal, but I do believe it's also on Apple Music. And if you don't have a streaming service, you can also just check the album out for free. I think it's on the Solange Knowles Vivo YouTube account, if they haven't taken it down yet. But I'm assuming that's her Vivo account. And until next time, peace. Positive people.